Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 75 of Takedown, and this one is titled Adrenaline Adventure. This level was just as cold as level 5 had been at the entrance, and there was that same heavy mist that was hanging around in the air. You were about to call for another level when you heard a blood-curdling scream somewhere off in the distance, and the hair on the back of your neck stood on end immediately. Oh, hell, what was that? You thought, frozen in place with fear. The scream abated, and you were left hanging in the eerie silence that followed. We should go, you whispered to Agir. Just then the scream came again, and it sounded even more urgent than last time. Agir's ears flicked back and forth, and he shifted from side to side, tossing his head and backing up a little as he snorted with discomfort at the harrowing sound. Easy, easy, you whispered to him. In your efforts to control him, he stepped down off the platform and trotted out into the ghostly trees that were standing, twisted and bare, closest to the platform. Back, Agir, you commanded in a fear-stricken voice, your whole body prickling with goosebumps. The scream came again, and with a fright your legs pressed into Agir's side, making him jump into a canter and take off into the mossy, damp forest that had low-lying mist floating around ankle height. As Agir pounded along the haunted level, his hooves kicked up the mist, making it very difficult to determine where you were, and by the time you had him back under control, you had no idea how to get back to the teleport pad. Crap, you hissed out loud, looking around the darkness. The scream came again, and Agir jumped to the side. Hey, whoa, you commanded him with shaking hands, trying your best to control both your emotions and his. I think someone might be in trouble. The echoing of the scream bounced around the rocks and trees, and you looked to see if you could make out anything in the misty darkness. Suddenly some bats appeared and flew directly in front of you, making you gasp with fright. Then came the cackle of a witch-like creature, and Agir backed up. I don't know where we are, let alone where they, the person screaming, are, you muttered softly. The scream came again, and your head snapped to the right. It seemed to be getting closer. What is it? You whispered when you saw Agir's ears prick up in that direction. Squinting in the darkness, you saw a large hollowed-out tree up ahead and decided to hide beside it. If anything came past, you could jump out or turn and run. You hadn't quite decided on what you would do just yet. Pushing for Agir to make his way over to the tree, you practically held your breath, petrified at what might appear. If it's someone being hurt, what should I do? Do I just attack those hurting the person? Your ears strained in the darkness, trying to pick out the sounds of anything approaching. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a barbed wire rope wound around your left arm and pierced your flesh, digging in and grabbing firmly onto you as you were ripped off Agir's back and down onto the misted, damp earth. You screamed, your anguished and terrified sound drawing cackles and malicious laughs from some hidden people that were just out of sight in the mist. You got her? One dark, haunting voice asked. Yeah, the other replied. Easy as. You jumped up and tried to pull the barbed rope from your arm, only succeeding in tearing your right hand in the process. Your vision had gone a little blurry from the tears of fear, but the shadowy figures that had caught you weren't the easiest to see either. Who are you? Your voice was quivering and full of uncertainty. What do you want? You. One skull mask-wearing being said in a deep voice, his comment drawing out more hideous cackles from his fellow members, where they appeared out of the mist behind him. What do you want with me? You asked again, fighting the barbed ropes as you were being pulled towards the cloaked figure who was wielding it. Best we don't tell you, he sneered, his sneer the only dimly visible thing about his face. It was at that point that you heard Agir suddenly roar with anger and lunge forwards, bowling over two of the members of the clan. Get it! One of the group screeched. You pulled back and struggled wildly to get free, only making the wire cut deeper the more that you struggled. I can't get out! I can't get out! You panicked internally. Agir was doing his best to get to you, knocking people over left, right and centre, and you were giving the cloaked guild member a hard time as you fought through excruciating pain to get free. Suddenly your wits came back to you, and you let out 3 loud laughs. Ha! 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 You shouted, acting like you had suddenly found something very funny. She's gone mad, someone commented, thinking you were now insane with pain. In your vision, you saw your sonic attack pulse out and shudder through your cloaked captor's body. They were none the wiser, but their health had been dropped a little. Ha! You called again. You think you can contain me? I've already got you, you stupid girl, he snarled, reeling you closer to himself. Ha! You shouted again, fighting tooth and nail to stay away. Knife her, boss! We have enough potions to keep her just alive, one member called out. Hey! You shouted at him. Cool down! Suddenly your fan blades appeared, and in a split second you had struck your captor across the face and arm in a two-handed slide slice. He yelled with pain and surprise and let the rope go. You weren't exactly sure how you got out of there, but the next thing you knew, you were back on Agir's back and tearing off in the darkness with the rope barbs still embedded in your arm. Agir had had time to get his bearings by then and took you straight back to the teleport pad, and you were back up on level 44 within a split second. Now back in the light, you had time to survey the damage, and it wasn't pretty. Blood was cascading down your arm from out and around the barbs that were still wound deep in your limb, and your health bar was clicking down the percentages at an alarming rate. Home, Agir, you said in a shaken voice. I need to get this rope off and a health potion into me before I die. Well, that wasn't clever. Stay tuned for the next chapter. We'll see how she ends up.